Hey guys, it's Dean. Welcome to Manful Yoga. In this workout, we are going to be doing active recovery and stretching. So the workout's going to start off with me guiding you through exercises that get your muscles really firing, that get your whole body turned on. And then after that, once we've gotten the muscles warm, once you've felt the burn a little bit, then we're going to go through restorative stretching. So what you'll need for this workout: a strap and 1 or 2 blocks. If you have 2 blocks, that's better. 1 block will do just fine. All right. Let's get started. I'm going to have you start off in a plank. So we're going to start intense and kind of work our way down from there. So we're going to start with intense exercises, getting your whole body turned on, and then taking it down from there. So press your hands into the ground, screw your hands out, biceps face forward, engage your shoulders, lift your belly button, tighten the abs, pull your chest forward, and breathe in and out of the nose. Let's do 3 breaths here. Squeeze your hands toward one another and then squeeze your feet toward your hands at the same time. So everything's squeezing in toward the middle, kind of squeezing right toward your pubic bone. So squeezing everything in the middle. And the harder you squeeze your hands toward your feet, the more you can get those muscles to engage. 1 more breath. All right, and then step up to a deep squat. If you can't go that deep, that's okay. I'm going to put the butt straight back, bring your arms out in front of you, push down through your heels, and 3 breaths here. Go ahead and lift your arms up, press your arms forward, sitting down into this, squeezing your legs toward one another, tightening the hips, getting your glutes active. 2 more breaths. Bring your arms up high. A little bit higher lift. Last breath. And then stand up all the way from here into a lunge. Grab your block. We're going to put that inside your right foot. If you've got 2 blocks, put them on either side of your right foot and step your left leg to the back into a runner's lunge. Push your right heel toward the ground, push your right hip toward the ground, and then use the blocks to pull your chest forward so your spine is neutral. So we're not arching the back at all. And just 2 breaths here. Again, just really getting the thighs and your body active. So I'm really tightening the left thigh, pushing down hard to the right foot, pulling the chest forward. 1 more breath. And then switch sides. Left foot up, step your right leg back, push your left heel hard into the ground, feel your left glute engage, squeeze your right thigh to lift the knee, pull your chest forward. 2 breaths here. In and out of the nose. Starting to feel that right hip open up a little bit, but more so focusing on that muscle engagement. Make sure your legs are squeezing toward one another as well. Last breath. All right, and then go ahead and stand up. Take a little forward fold. Squeeze your quadriceps. Use the blocks if you have them. You just need 1 for the forward fold. Focus more on engaging your quadriceps and tightening your thighs, squeezing your legs toward one another, tightening your abs. One more breath here. And then sit down. Bring your arms up, arms overhead, palms touch. Keep your arms up and lean toward the right. Standing side stretch. Push your hips toward the left. 3 breaths here. Tightening the whole outside of your left body. And then instead of interlacing your fingers, press your palms together. So we're going to get the shoulders active. Just 1 more breath here. Really pressing your hands together. Again, just turning on all the muscles in your body. Back to the middle. Switch sides. Breathe in. Other side. Hips pressed toward the right. Arms pressed together. Tightening the whole right side of the body. Keeping the abs tight. Keeping the obliques tight. And then pressing your arms toward one another. Firmly pressing the palms together. 1 more breath here. And then come back to the middle. Standing back bend. Reach your arms up. Squeeze back. Look up. 3 breaths. Try to squeeze your arms back as much as you can, opening up the shoulders, but also engaging your upper back. Squeeze your thighs together. Look up a little bit higher. Last breath. And then release down to a forward fold. Slowly, so your head doesn't rush. Plant your hands. Step back into a plank. Just 2 breaths here. Squeezing your arms toward one another. And then move your forearms down to the ground into a forearm plank. 2 breaths here as well. Arms squeezed together, hands pressed into the ground. Last breath. And release down. Take it into a Cobra, just 10 seconds with the Cobra. Point your toes back, press your feet into the ground, squeeze your legs together, tighten the abs, elbows squeeze back, open up your chest, engage your back. Just 5 seconds left. Lift your head away from the ground. 3, 2, 1, and release. All right, let's take it back into a tabletop. Go ahead and flip your hands around, get a little stretch for your wrist. Palms facing down, fingers facing your body. Deep breaths. And now we're starting to transition more toward the stretchy phase. Right, so we've got all the muscles warm, glutes are warm, hip flexors are warm, everything's turned on, shoulders, upper back, core. So now we're going to stretch that all out. Just kind of moving from side to side, maybe a little bit of a twist from side to side, just working into your forearms. All right, and then flip your hands, tops of your hands on the ground, palms facing up, press your hands into the ground, look forward, squeeze your legs lightly toward one another, feeling the stretch in the wrists and maybe in the backs of your hands. Forearms engaged, so the fronts of your forearms will engage here. You don't want to have your arms totally lax here. Two more breaths. Go ahead and relax your neck. Last breath. All right, and then bring your hands to the ground in fists. So lightly balling up your hands. You don't need to tense up your forearms anymore, but just fist lightly on the ground, just to bring some balance back to your wrist after that last stretch. And then let's do 3 rounds of cat-cow here. So inhaling to arch. Exhaling to round. 2 more on your own. Keep your knees lightly squeezing toward one another. Try to keep your abs lightly engaged. Make sure you're matching your breath with your movement. So again, inhaling as you arch. Last one. Coming all the way up, arching your upper back and your neck, and exhaling to round. Bringing your head toward your hips, pushing your upper back toward the ceiling. And then go ahead and take this into a child's pose. So knees come wide, big toes touch, walk your arms out in front of you. Keep your arms straight for the most part. We're going to keep your arms active here, not active to the point where you're really tensing your muscles and locking out your arms as hard as you can, but just enough to feel a stretch through your upper body. I'm going to do 5 breaths here, just allowing your shoulders to release. Forehead is relaxed down. Feeling a nice stretch through your shoulders, maybe through your spine, maybe through the lower back. One more breath. All right, and then into a tabletop. Grab your blocks. We're going to move into a supported lizard. So blocks are on either side of your front foot. Right foot is your front foot. Crawl your left leg back. Lightly press your right hip toward the ground, bringing your hips forward. So you're getting your hips still under your torso, but allowing your hips to sink forward to the point where you feel that stretch through the front of your left hip. So we're going to do some relief for the hip flexor. You might also feel some stretching on the inner right thigh. So the blocks are really helpful here because it keeps your spine neutral. So instead of doing something like this, where we're rounding forward, we're keeping your spine neutral. So lifting the chest up, keeping your hips squared, and putting that weight into your arms so you don't have to worry about your core doing that. Three more breaths here, so getting a nice long stretch to allow your hips to release. And try to be somewhat passive here. Last breath. All right, and then switch sides, bringing the left foot up, right leg back, pushing your left heel down firmly into the ground, pushing your hips, left hip toward the ground, and allowing your hips to sink forward until you feel that stretch through the front of the right hip. Use the blocks so you can keep your chest upright and keep your spine neutral. Use your exhale to sink deeper into the posture. Take about 5 deep breaths here. And as you exhale, allowing your hips to sink forward just a tiny bit. So we're feeling the stretch through the front of your right thigh, your hip flexor. We might also feel the stretch on the left leg, so maybe feeling it in the inner thigh. And then also, I've got a stretch in my left hamstring a little bit right now as well. Two more breaths. Last breath. All right. And then go ahead and release. We're going to stand up. And here we're going to do an eagle stretch. Just standing eagle stretch. So swing your right arm under your left arm. Stand with your feet about 6 inches apart. Make sure that your weight is somewhat toward the back. So we're not leaning forward and arching our back, but keeping the hips toward the back, right above the heels. And then just lightly lifting your elbows up and pushing your forearms away from your face. You can lean toward the left with your head toward the shoulder. Maybe lean toward the right. See how that feels. And other side again. Woo. Don't let your microphone fall out. Couple more breaths here. Again, just a really relaxed stretch of eagle to give your shoulders some relief. Kind of leaning your head from shoulder to shoulder to get your shoulders and your neck released as well. And then go ahead and release your arms. Take a forward fold here. Bend your knees. Use the block or blocks. And then just kind of pedal your heels up and down, pressing your knees back and forth. Maybe keeping your heels flat on the ground, keeping your stomach long so you still feel your core slightly active. And just kind of, again, moving, straightening one leg and then straightening the other leg. And our goal here is just to reduce some stiffness or some soreness in the hamstrings. So if you had a lot of, or you did a lot of working out yesterday and today your energy's lower, or maybe you just want to speed up your recovery, this kind of movement is really good for helping with that. All right, and then come back up. So sit the hips down, press down to the feet, back up to standing, and switching sides. So now left arm comes under the right arm, doing the opposite side. Interlace your fingers however you can. Bring the elbows up. Relax the shoulders. Standing neutral. So my feet are just about 6 inches apart. And again, I'm kind of leaning back somewhat, so I don't want my weight in my toes. I want my feet evenly distributed through the feet, even mostly in the heels, I would say. Just that way your weight is toward the back. You're not creating any pain or any pressure in your lower back, but allowing that focus to be on the core. And then just getting this nice stretch through your upper back, bringing the elbows up, pressing your forearms, again, kind of away from your face. And if you want, leaning from side to side, bringing the ear toward the shoulder. And that's just going to allow your neck and your shoulders to release a little bit more. 2 more breaths here. And then release. Take another forward fold. Bend your knees. If you want, you can bring your hands all the way to the ground. Or if you have that block, you've got 3 different settings. You can turn it up so it's high, turn it down so it's lower, or place it flat on so that it's just a few inches tall. And again, if you want to pedal your heels or your knees back and forth just to work into your calves, work into your hamstrings, that is definitely an option. Just make sure you're keeping length through the core, keeping your abs slightly engaged so you're safely stretching your lower back. Two more breaths here in this forward fold. All right, go ahead and stand back up.
Thanks for joining me for this workout today. Make sure you subscribe. We put out lots of videos like this on a very regular basis. And to get full access to all of my workouts, my programs, tutorials, and more, head to manfulyoga.com, sign up for a 7-day trial. It's just $1. Thanks again for joining me, and I'll see you on the next video.